Well, good evening. It's Garfield Reid right here on WAVS Radio. Welcome to the Caribbean Connection. And we just hear from the background in the music of Sly and Robbie, Baltimore. I tell you, love that particular song. But it's good evening to South Florida again and to the Caribbean diaspora. You are tuning to the Caribbean Connection on WAVS 1170, 107.9 in Miami-Dade County community, serving the Caribbean community for over 40 years. I'm your host, Garfield Reid. Every Tuesday from 6 to 7, we bring you breaking news and community updates, culture, entertainment, and conversation that matters. Stay with us from uplifting, informative hour right here and the Caribbean Connection. And again, it's WAVS 1170, 107.9 simulcasting. And again, if you are down there in the Miami South in Dade County, you could tune your radio to 107.9 FM radio. Good afternoon. It's 6:08 on the clock in the studios of WAVS. It's 75 degrees Fahrenheit on the outside, clear skies, sunny, and we're just looking forward to the time when it's getting much cooler. But I must tell you, I just want to say a big shout out to all my friends and families that I have met in Birmingham, England. It was a time that we enjoy over a period of time, and I must tell you, I know Uncle Trevor. I just want to say again, Uncle Trevor, stand tight. I know you lost your precious wife, Auntie Princess, but I know she's looking over you. And I tell you, I met some gentlemen at the repast, and I tell you, I had a wonderful time with conversation. Brother Kent, Brother Trevor, Brother Ray. And Brother Ray, I just want to say, appreciate, my father and I will appreciate the hospitality that you guys showed to us Sunday. Good evening, good night. And I know in the UK, I tell you, while in the UK, I experienced a different type of Caribbean setting. But hey, it's all good, and it's the Caribbean flavor. Jamaicans, Caribbean people, Trinidadians. We met some people from South Asia. I will tell you, it was a wonderful time. But of course, this is the Caribbean Connection right here on WAVS Radio with Garfield Reid. Coming up at 6:15, we should be talking to Conrad, the fireman, O'Brien, out of Kingston, Jamaica. Of course, Conrad is a journalist slash broadcaster and Sleek FM right there in the University of the West Indies. He will be talking to us about some breaking news about a challenge to the opposition leader, the comrade leader, Mark Jefferson Golden, and there's some upcoming challenge. Nothing confirmed, but hopefully Conrad O'Brien will shed some light on that. So coming up at 6:15 in 15 minutes, he should be joining us. But you know, when we look across the Caribbean, and I will tell you, our brothers and sisters in Cuba cannot bear it any longer. I mean, they literally don't stand a chance. They cannot do anything right. Cuba suffers a third nationwide blackout of 2026 amid the worsening fuel crisis. And as you said, the United Nations has warned of growing humanitarian emergency as the living condition is literally breaking down, deteriorating rapidly. And you know, Cuba is a country that invested heavily in solar energy, renewable energy, but only that can only provide 10% of what they need to run the country. So of course they are still relying on fossil fuel, and I tell you, the brothers and sisters in Cuba is finding it a tough time when it comes to energy. So you know, when you have fuel crisis, you are talking about hospitals cannot operate, your home, I mean, they're literally in darkness, and the essential services are not able to provide for the people of Cuba. Hopefully, the Cuban government needs to know what to do, and I know they know what to do, but sometimes we have to stand up on our pride, and I believe the government of Cuba needs to start to think about their people, because the people are literally going down day by day. And of course, a lot of us as Jamaican Caribbean national benefit tremendously from Cuba, from different aspects, from healthcare, education, agriculture, the whole 9 yards. So Cuba needs some help. But while we talk about Cuba needs some help, Guyana, when you look into Guyana, Guyana is now ranked as one of the highest income economies in the Caribbean. So what they're saying in Guyana, the national income per capita in Guyana is actually approximately 15,000 US dollars. So what that is saying, Guyana, Guyana start to pump in oil, and Guyana is exporting oil to other nations around the world. So, when can we see this thing happening in Jamaica, while Jamaica still rank as a upper middle class in the Caribbean, but Guyana is the country, one of the richest country in the Caribbean. And, talk about Guyana and the richest country in the Caribbean. I just want to remind you that come August the 6th, Jamaica will be celebrating independence. Yes, August the 6th, Jamaica will be celebrating independence. But are we really independent? Because we may achieve political independence, but as the legacy of the slavery ever truly been addressed? And I'm saying we are an independent country, but what about the slave trade, the transatlantic slave trade? Were we ever compensated? And I am pleased to know that the Minister of Tourism, Minister of Culture and Gender and Sports, the Honorable Olivia Babsy Grange, has told Parliament recently, come September the 6th, 2026, she will be writing a letter to the King of England, King Charles, because the 6th of September is an historic day because of the infamous slave ship Zong that in 1781, so remember the 6th of September was when over 140 enslaved Africans were murdered and thrown overboard. And that was one of the biggest atrocity we as black people coming out of the motherland face, and they were actually en route to Jamaica. So what the minister is saying is that she's seeking reparation on behalf of Jamaicans, and she will be engaging with King Charles to make sure that is taking place. But it is now 6:15 on the clock, and while it is 6:15 and waiting for Conrad O'Brien to give us a link in the studios here at WAVS, I just want to remind you of Allo and More. Allo and More, remember where they're at. They're at 4090 Northwest 12th Street in Lauderhill. That's in 4090 Northwest 12th Street in Lauderhill. And if you are having any form of ailment and you are seeking any form of supplement, they can assist you getting that. I tell you, losing weight is one of the hardest things that I can ever done. But I went to Miss Brown, and what Miss Brown did, she made sure that I had what it takes to get things done, and she helped me. But I tell you, if you have high blood pressure, that gap pill, please go there. If you are looking for any form of supplement, please go to Allo and More Document Services. Allo and More right there in Lauderhill. But while you are there doing that, you could always make sure you have stuff for your passport, for your looking for passport, you're looking to file your Jamaican passport. But as promised, we have Conrad O'Brien on the phone line, and we are going to go right over to Conrad O'Brien and come back with Allo and More. Conrad O'Brien, good afternoon, sir. How are you? Mr. Conrad, good afternoon, sir. How are you, sir?
Good evening. Are you hearing me?
I'm hearing you quite fine, loud and direct, right here in the studios of WAVS. On the phone line, we have Conrad O'Brien, the fireman from Sleek 93 FM in St. Andrew, Jamaica, on the UE campus. And I tell you, when you want to get breaking information, you need clarity to anything, Conrad O'Brien he's like a fly on the wall in any of one of these political offices or building and in and around Jamaica. Welcome back to WAVS, Mr. O'Brien. How are you today?
I am very well, thank you. Thanks for your kind words there, my brother and friend. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Conrad. I'm doing super well, and I tell you, there is a lot of things going on in Jamaica, and I just want you to, one of the main reasons why I asked you to join me here live on WAVS is about this upcoming challenge that the opposition leader, the Honorable Mark Jefferson Golding may be facing unconfirmed report. Let us be clear, because I have not heard anything from who is stating want to do it. But I want you to just take a listen to Conrad to this clip courtesy of Nationwide News with George Davis reporting. Please take a listen, and we will come back on the other side to comment on it. Thank you.
Indeed.
Wayne Vaz, as deputy spokesman on roads and works, is the early move in what's expected to be a long race to elect the next leader of the 88-year-old People's National Party, PNP. It is widely expected that Mark Golding will face a challenge for the post of president when the PNP puts the leadership issue to a vote at its annual conference in September 2027. The main challenge to Golding is expected to come from MP for Northwest St. Catherine, Damian Crawford. More in this report from George Davis.
The PNP's loss to Holness's JLP in the general election held on September 3, 2025, had a discombobulating effect on many in the Mark Golding-led party. And over 10 months since the defeat, equilibrium continues to elude those who were certain Mark G would lead the orange takeover of Jamaica House. Our sources tell us that since Holness completed his triple last September, there has been a growing sentiment inside the PNP that Mark Golding missed his chance to lead the country and must make way for a new comrade leader. And it's on the back of that discontent that Damian Crawford has been quietly building a coalition that his supporters hope will design and execute a successful tilt at the PNP presidency come September next year. Our sources say Crawford, who in recent years has been cast by the PNP as the hype man in chief wherever a comrade needs a boost at a political meeting during election season, is ready to shed that image and relinquish that role.
Well, you heard it right there, Conrad O'Brien, as you hear the clip from George Davis, of courtesy of Nationwide News. Mr. O'Brien, is this so?
Uh-huh. Sorry?
No, this according to Nationwide News, George Davis, is it that Mark Golding, the opposition leader, is supposed to be challenged by Damian Crawford come next year?
All right, let me say good evening to your listeners right across the United States and indeed the entire the Caribbean, and wherever they're listening, I greet you well from the warm climes here in Jamaica, land we love. Indeed, Garfield, thanks again for inviting me on your program this afternoon, evening in Florida, because I think it's now after 6 there, it's after 5 here in Jamaica. You're an hour ahead of us. Now, Garfield, to get to the question that you posed and listening to the clip there from George Davis of Nationwide News, I must tell you that this is not new information, really. This is information that has been thrown around for some time. I don't know if the discussion have been re-emerged in terms of the challenger or operatives of the challenger would have reached out to George Davis of Nationwide News and Nationwide News in general to reignite this discussion. But suffice it to say that Nationwide carried this as a part of their major news story yesterday, and they repeated it today. And whenever they believe that they have a juicy story, not just them alone, but that is what we do in media. Whenever we believe we have a juicy story that will get traction, we give it a lot of rotation, and this story seems to be getting some rotation from Nationwide, and it has picked up traction on other media houses, because I myself carried it on Sleek Radio today, and here you are carrying it on your station, WABS Waves Radio in the U.S. So I am prepared to say that I don't believe that Nationwide, and some people may want to say so, but I personally don't believe that Nationwide had basically just plucked something out of the air. I think something is brewing, and I think they are being fed by information as to whether or not this will basically born or it will die stillbirth. Then that is something that we'll have to watch to see. But I know that Damian Crawford has never been shy. He has never been timid in basically expressing his views of being, or his view rather, of being leader of the the 87-year-old political outfit called the PNP with headquarters at Old Hope Road, 89 to be exact. He has never shied away from that. However, one of the things that we know, Garfield, is that whenever people opine and, offering a challenge, they normally do what is called their due diligence. They would be basically touching base with delegates, with member of parliament, MP candidates, etc., etc.
And that
and
is
the
where,
truth,
and,
I
and
must be
Conrad,
honest, sorry.
And this is where I want to stop, because we see a lot of movements have been going on in the PMP, especially in Westmoreland, where it has been rumored that Dwayne Vaz now has stepped down as an opposition spokesman and his portfolio, and he has now concentrating and running, and the reporting is saying that he's running for the chairman of that particular region, and the person who actually sits in that seat today is a strong ally of the comrade leader, the opposition leader, Mark Golding.
Well, listen. That again is it's speculation as to whether or not Dwayne Vaz will be backing Damien Crawford, right? However, what I know for sure, and I must be truthful, I know that there has been some amount of canvassing taking place. And it is indeed the sensible thing to do if you have ambition, because the last thing that you want to do is to enter a race without you having backative that you believe could take you over the finish line. That said, in terms of Dwayne Vaz,
oh man, come on, Conrad. We need to re-engage back with Conrad O'Brien. We lost the phone line. But folks, while we re-engage back with Dwayne Vaz, I just want to give you some background to this. As you heard Conrad O'Brien says, someone like a Damien Crawford has never shied away about his ambition to become a political candidate for the People's National Party in the aspects of leadership. And I would say this is something that I've heard Dwayne Vaz has actually said over and over again. And again, I have heard conversation. I was in close proximity to somebody at one point, and that was uttered to me. But what the PMP is saying, and the delegates and the followers, we don't really know, but we just have to wait and see exactly what's going on. I hope Conrad can engage us back to join us back, because I don't know what happened with his phone line. It's Jamaica, it's a telecommunication we are using. But for now, we're going
of Crawford, should he really decide to go fully. But the truth is that I am aware that the rounds are being made now, or from some time ago. I thought it had basically died, but we now see it re-emerge. And bear in mind that this is said that it is not this September, but it is September of 2027.
Correct, and that's when party conference. That's when they elected all the officers of the party. But Conrad, hold a minute. Indeed. I think we have a caller on the line. Caller, are you there?
Oh, yes, I'm here.
Do you have a question for Conrad O'Brien? Because Conrad O'Brien is a fireman, and he has all the answers when it comes to the political things in Jamaica.
Well,
not quite, but I'll try.
Okay, go ahead.
I think it is a healthy thing for the democracy of the party, because for the party to consistently lost 3 consecutive elections and fail to form government,
right,
there has to be some introspect, and there has to be some form of energy reigniting the flames within the party, because I would believe some members are tired to sit in the backbench on the opposition side. Because if you look at it,
good. So your question that you want to
ask. But hold on, caller. The question for Conrad. What's the question?
Do you think it's a healthy moment right now?
All right. Thanks for that question. The answer is a healthy moment for what? For a challenge?
For a challenge, so a change in, because I think what the caller is
for the leadership of the party.
Yeah, because what the people may be saying, Conrad, is that Mark Golding has missed his chance when he never won the election in last September, because then it gave Andrew Olin's third term although we have to give credit to the opposition leader, he gained another 14 more seats. But they are saying that 14 more seats is not enough. So people are saying that a new challenge from Damian Crawford, who is dubbed one of the hype masters of the People's National Party, may stand a better chance.
Let me say something. I'm not going to offer too much critique in a negative way against Damian, but I believe that there are certainly a lot of things that need to be put in train for Crawford to prepare himself for leadership. I believe so. But to answer your caller direct, no, I don't believe that it is a healthy thing for the People's National Party at this time. And I will enumerate some facts. The truth is that we saw what happened, the acrimonious leadership race that have taken place within the People's National Party, to the point where the party had literally busted in two halves, where there seems to be as if there was a party within a party. Mark Golding, on assuming leadership of the People's National Party, went on the business of unification. Mark Golding, and assuming office, was virtually an unknown to Jamaica. So that 5 years that Mark lead the PNP, he was essentially being introduced to the Jamaican people. He is now an household name. With that introductory moment, he carried home 14 additional seats for the People's National Party and about 110,000 returned to the fold of the People's National Party. Sir, it is foolish and foolhardy to basically enter into a leadership race at this time, or where there is no clear vacancy. The People's National Party does not countenance this, and we saw what the results have been over and over and over again.
All right, Conrad, I have to ask you one question, because we have a special segment coming up shortly. But let me ask you this, Conrad. Based on the position of the party right now today, and this is your opinion, right? So you're a journalist, you're a broadcaster, you have the liberty not to answer. Do you believe the opposition leader, Mark Joseph Golding, can stand another, is electable to go back to face Andrew Holness at the wicket?
100% yes. Okay. I believe that Andrew Holness is getting weaker and weaker by the passing day, and I'm seeing where Mark Golding is rising. There are some things about Mark Golding. When you look at Mark
take another call. Hold for another call, please. Let's take another call. Caller, thank you. WVS.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon. Conrad, you have a question for Conrad O'Brien. Conrad O'Brien is a radio broadcaster out of Jamaica with Sleek 93 FM, and he's saying that he don't believe it is an healthy democracy for a challenge in the People's National Party.
No. I did not say it's not a healthy democracy. I'm saying that I don't believe.
You don't believe it should be done at this time.
It's a necessary and a sensible thing to do in terms of putting a challenge within the party.
My apologies. So, Carla, what do you have to say to Conrad? I ask.
Well, I agree with. I do agree with Conrad, because the timing is kind of off. But from a Damian Crawford perspective, if you look on it from a Damian Crawford perspective, yes. The PNP has gained an extra 14 seats, but from a Damian Crawford perspective, he believes that he's the reason why they gained that 14 seats. Because if you look on the campaign, regarding the campaign, the person that was really, from his perspective, he will believe that he's the reason why they win all the seats. Because when it comes to the campaign, he's the one, in terms of the speaking ability, he's the one that stood out.
Absolute nonsense, sir. Absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
That's why I said from a Damian Crawford perspective, not my perspective.
Undiluted rubbish. And if Damian Crawford harbor that thought, he should perish it. For example, hold on. Let me say something.
But Karen, you have to allow the caller to make his point, though, please.
That's why I said from a Damian Crawford perspective, not my perspective. That's why I said from a Damian Crawford perspective, because if you disagree with him, then why would he be challenging him now?
Exactly.
Sir,
that's the question.
Let me enumerate something to you.
Go ahead.
Peter Bunting, who went to South Manchester and retained that seat and take back that seat for the People's National Party. Damien Crawford did nothing for Peter Bunting to win that seat, right? As it relates to Nikisha Burchell, as it relates to the seats down in the even more western part in Hanover, Damien has done nothing. Young attorney at law, which is another firebrand of the People's National Party, Zalika Jet, she hunkered down and she almost single-handedly took home that that southeast central bed seat for the People's National Party. And I could go on and on and on and on. So, and I really don't believe that Damien thinks so. I think that is something that is being concocted by some overzealous person.
Okay.
Really.
So the question is...
And that said, gentlemen, unfortunately, we have to come to an end to this. But as you say, you don't believe that there will be a challenge to the opposition leader, Damien Crawford will not challenge the opposition leader. That is left to be seen. But again, democracy is alive and well. And I will tell you.
Who said that? Hold on, Garfield. Who said that? Who said that Damien would not challenge?
No.
But the question is, why would he challenge him?
The question is that you just said you don't believe Damien Crawford will challenge the opposition leader. That's left to be said.
No, but I am saying I am basically vocalizing my opinion.
Okay.
But Crawford may have different thoughts in his head. I am saying that I do not believe that it is the wise thing to do because we have seen where what challenges has done to the People's National Party. And in addition to that, I don't think there's any need for a challenge at this time because of the gain of Mark Golding. I believe that what they should do is to go and hunker down in their constituency. And I will close by saying this. Any money that they so have to mount a challenge. A whole heap of poor people out there that
I agree with you. That is how we're going to end this conversation. And I think, caller, sorry to end the conversation, and I believe all politicians in Jamaica, whether they are JLP or PMP, should basically concentrate on doing the work of the people, and the money that they are going to take to run a campaign, donate it to poor people of Jamaica. There are people all about Jamaica in Westmoreland, in St. Elizabeth, is living literally in their bathroom in a rocking chair because they have lost their roof. But Conrad O'Brien, thank you for your indulgence. Caller, thank you, caller.
You're most welcome, and your caller can join me tomorrow at 9 o'clock on Conrad Obi, the Fireman YouTube channel, and also on Sleek Radio, www.sleekradio.com, and the 93 FM band right here in Jamaica land we love. Thanks a lot, Garfield.
Bye-bye. Caller, you have the last talk. You have 1 minute. Go ahead, please.
Greetings, Garfield.
Yeah, man.
Greetings, Fireman.
No, he just dropped off the line.
Oh, well, you may ask now, Garfield.
Yeah, man.
You see, anyhow, Damien Crawford, I go contest the leadership a fourth term for the JLP party. You may I tell you? Fourth term for the JLP party.
I mean, the truth is this: the Jamaica Labour Party has a strong footing. The writing is on the wall, so let us not fool ourselves. And the PMP need to coalesce around one leader and to bring an argument to the people, show the manifesto what they want to do for the people of Jamaica. But again, I don't believe the time is right for a challenge. That's my opinion. That's my opinion.
How can a man achieve 100% pass mark?
And
100%, 14 to 28. What better you want more than
exactly.
that? And if for the PMP, they never licky, and still they vote. It would be different.
All right, Carl, I appreciate it. No, but let us be clear. Let us be clear. I don't know if anybody buying votes or selling votes. I have no knowledge of that. So let the record reflect that, my brother. Respect.
All right, my brother.
Love, good. Peace.
Respect.
All right,
respect.
There you have it, folks. I'm telling you, I can't answer. I can't take no more calls because we only have another 19 minutes to go in the show, and we have to wrap it up. I just want to remind you of Allo and More Document Services at 4090 Northwest 12th Street in Lauderhill. Telephone number 954-797-9783. That's 954-797-9783. 9783. That's Aller and More Document Services. Please give them a call, and remember, they have all the supplements that you are seeking at Aller and More Document Services. But remember, the BMW surgeon at 707 North State Road 7 in Margate. You drive a BMW or a German vehicle, the BMW surgeon will take good care of you. Quick and reliable service at the best rate, where you will save hundreds of dollars at the BMW surgeon. Give Standman a call, and a service advisor is standing by to take your call at 954-376-0885. That's 954-376-0885. And you know they're located at 707 North State Road 7 in Margate. Telephone number is 954-376-0885. And of course, on the phone line, we have the immigration attorney, Kevin Miller. Good afternoon, Mr. Miller.
Good afternoon, Mr. Reid. Good afternoon to all the listeners out there.
Good afternoon. But I will tell you, please take a listen to your own commercial.
It's definitely a sense of pride when we can do things on our own. But at times, we do need the guidance from the professionals. Call attorney Kevin Miller at 813-420-3901 and book your consultation. Attorney Kevin Miller has office locations in Tampa and Lauderhill. Attorney Kevin Miller will give you the best consultation for your immigration matters. Call attorney Kevin Miller at 813-420-3901.
Well, you heard that, Mr. Miller. You will give the best consultation. All they have to do is to give you a call. Take it away.
All right. So, obviously, as you know, we are in the world of immigration. When it comes down to the world of immigration, we know that especially now, it's a very, very treacherous water for you to be in if you do not know how to legally navigate those waters. And we're talking about people who might be in removal proceedings, or we're talking about people who simply want to file an adjustment of status if they are here in the United States undocumented. It is very, very critical that you get the expert knowledge and advice from an attorney like myself in order for you to be able to navigate those waters. So it's not one of those times when you can try to undertake these processes by yourself, because you can't just leave your fate to a hit or a miss. Because if you miss, it might be very expensive, and you might find yourself on another flight being removed to your country of origin. And I just wanted to put that out there.
Most definitely. And again, your telephone number is 813-420-3901 or 954-507-4636. Mr. Miller, I was reading in the paper earlier in the week where we are seeing in the state of Florida, the state troopers, the deputy, the Broward County sheriffs, and in Palm Beaches sheriffs, these people are now deputized to stand in the role as a federal officer, and they are now doing the work of the U.S. Immigration Services, sir. Is that so?
Well, so what you must understand is that these officers are state employees. And so if they are state employees, and if it so be that either the governor or whomever is able to give that kind of authority to their officers to say, this is what we want you to do, then they can so empower them to carry out those roles. And so we're not surprised in regards to a move like this, because it all boils down to what we call law enforcement. And so if someone is in the United States illegally, then obviously that person is not in keeping with the laws of the state and the laws of the United States. So that should not come as a surprise to any of us.
So, Mr. Miller, so in other words then, so what you are saying that if you are in a legal status, do not wait, do not linger, don't waste time, don't lay as we say in Jamaica. Get to an immigration attorney like yourself. Get legal representation, great representation, and how you can advise him or her into reference to how they can proceed with their paperwork leading towards a green card. Is that so?
Definitely. And what I've seen, Mr. Reid, unfortunately, I have to be dealing with a number of cases now where folks were recommended to people who are not attorneys. And they ended up filing applications with USCIS that are not only misrepresenting the facts, but are borderline fraudulent applications. And so what I've been doing for the last couple of days is drafting the requisite documentation to withdraw those applications. So you have to be careful as to who you're taking advice from. And also you must realize that any documentation that you file with the Department of Homeland Security, you are the one who will have to attest to what is it that you're filed in the system. So it will not be the person who filed it for you. You will have to attest to that.
So in other words, go to these one-stop shop who is doing everything but nothing, all trades and all of that, and they need to stick with someone, an immigration attorney. Don't just show up at your interview because you have a scheduled interview without an immigration attorney. So it is just like you're going to court. Just like you're going to court, you need your defense attorney. Just like you're going to your immigration appointment, you need your defense. Is that so?
Right. So let me ask you a question, Mr. Reid. If you wake up tomorrow morning and there's an issue with your car,
you go to a
mechanic.
mechanic.
Take it to the plumber, or would you call the plumber?
No, you don't take it to the plumber. You call the mechanic and make an appointment.
Definitely.
And that is what you need to do when they come to you, Mr. Miller. 813-420-3901. Call the immigration attorney, make an appointment so he can basically assist you. Continue, sir.
Right. And so that's what, even when you look at asylum cases, you have a lot of folks who have asylum applications in the system, and they weren't properly guided. And so they're in a position now where they're at a crossroads where they have a claim or claims in the system without anything to stand by or to defend those claims. And so what we're seeing now is those folks will now either have to withdraw those applications or run the risk of being charged with fraud and misrepresentation. So it's no joke when it comes down to your immigration future. You must get the proper guidance. You must be educated in regards to what is it that USCIS requires. What is it that the court requires? Because if you attempt to do all of these things by yourself, you will probably open a can of worms that you can't close.
You know, Mr. Miller, in closing, yesterday I was coming back in the U.S. and I actually flew into Orlando. And I tell you, I saw a ton of people going into a specific room, Mr. Miller. And I don't know what that room is, but all I know, the immigration officers have the passport in their hand, waving like they're waving a flag. And several people are trotting behind them. And then you find another immigration officer is walking behind them. It's like they are standing guard. So, folks, protect yourself. You live in this country. Make sure you know what you are doing. And of course, if you cannot get yourself straight fast enough, limit your exposure in the road, because we are seeing today, Mr. Miller, in the central part of Florida, where an immigrant was actually killed by a tractor trailer because he was running away from the immigration officers and he lost his life. Please don't be that one. Get yourself in order. Understand what you are doing. Practice good ethics when it comes on to your immigration services, and Mr. Miller can help you. What's your telephone number, Mr. Miller?
That's 813-420-3901 or 954-507-4636.
There you have it, folks. Mr. Miller, we will talk to you next week, same time at 6:30. We're a little bit late today, but we will make it up next week. Thank you, sir. Good.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Hey, it's Samantha Randerine, owner and founder of Car Accident Referral Services. All of your car accidents, slip and fall, and workers' comp needs. We cover the entire state of Florida. We are here for you guys 24/7. Doesn't matter if it's Thanksgiving Day, Christmas, Easter, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. Doesn't matter. We are here for you guys. We want to put more money into our Caribbean community pocket. We cover the entire state of Florida, so it doesn't matter where you are located. We have attorneys and doctors able and willing to take care of you. Make sure you save our number, 954-249-5858. That's 954-249-5858. Let us put more money into your pockets. Let us treat you like family, and let us take care of you from start to finish. Save this number, 954-249-5858. car accident, slip and fall, workers' comp, you know who to call. Car Accident Referral Services. Thank you guys so much and have a wonderful day.
Listen up, everyone. Need to know more about life insurance and living benefits? Reach out to Garfield Reid to start the conversation at 754-204-2498. Garfield will help you to identify a plan that will work for you based on your financial situation, like final expenses, term life, whole life, long-term care and policies. Reach out to Garfield Reid at 754-204-2498. That's 754-204-2498. Remember, life is no joke. Protect yourself and your family today. 754-204-2498.
And there you have it, folks. That's Garfield Reid. But on the phone line, we have Ross Taylor from Transamerica, the man with the plan when it comes on to life insurance, when it comes on to annuity, when it comes on to your retirement benefit, when it comes on to your large policies in the workplace where you have employee benefits. Ross Taylor is the man. Ross, welcome back to WAVS. How are you?
Hey, Garfield, great, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Could never be better in your company, sir.
Yeah. So, everything's going great, glad you had me on the show.
Yes, Ross, for the next 3 minutes, we're a little bit out of time, but let us talk about employee life insurance in the workplace, insurance in the workplace. What can Transamerica offer for people who have 5 or more employees and they want to get them some benefit to build some ethics, to build some moral in the workplace?
You're right, Garfield. Yeah, I mean, we have different options. We got, whether it's voluntary benefits, meaning that, each person can pick and choose if they want to be in a plan or not and pay for it themselves, or if if an employer wants to pay for something for their employees, depending on the size of the, the business or how many people there are that works there. There are guaranteed issue type policies that are, guaranteed issue for them in the workplace. So it just depends on each person's needs and their wants and how big the business is. But, it doesn't hurt to, give you a call to start that conversation to, figure out, what their needs are and what we can do to fulfill them, whether it's individual needs or whether it's, company-based needs through group insurance.
Definitely. And with a group insurance, Ross, no question asked about your medical condition, correct?
Correct. Yes, it's everybody will be insured. Absolutely.
Definitely. So think about someone who is HIV positive. You can get life insurance through a group plan with your company. So what I'm saying here, speak to your employer, go to your human resource department. You don't need to tell them your status if you don't need to, but encourage them to give us a call at 754-204-2498 to start the conversation. You are ever declined because you may have cancer, you have an heart attack or a stroke, or you are not insurable. You can be insurable if you are under a group plan. So if you are a business owner and you want to do something for your employees, this is one of the greatest way to give back to your employees. Just give us a call at 754-204-2498 to start the conversation. But Ross, for the next 1 minute, please talk about living benefits.
Right, you Garfield. I mean, so many people are, think that life insurance, they'll never see any benefit of it. It's only the beneficiaries. But, with the new life insurance plans that's out there now, they have living benefits, meaning that, if you were to have, life insurance, with us and you have a, major health problem, whether it's heart attack, stroke, cancer, kidney failure, stuff like that, any major illness, you can receive some of the benefits while you're alive, up to 90% of the face amount. So, if you got a $1 million policy, you could receive up to $900,000 of coverage while you're still alive.
Yes, Ross. All right, Ross, unfortunately we are out of time, but again, we got to come to the end of the show at this time at 6:58. Thank you for listening. And Ross, next week we'll be on. We'll have more time to get involved, to dig in more in how the living benefit policies work. Ross, have a wonderful rest of your evening. Have a great dinner, and dinner is on me. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Garfield.
Good.